So anyway, I want to look up this channel and run these videos. It's called How to Cook That. We're going to dive into this. All right. Cake Rescue Fixing Instagram Cake Fails. How to Cook That.
Welcome.
All right, let's see what's up. All right, chat. We're going to run a real fast audio test, okay?
Welcome to How to Cook That. I'm Anne Reardon, and this is another episode of Cake Rescue, where I take viral cake.
Let me know how loud that was. I'm actually just going to plug in headphones to avoid the... to avoid any echo. I'm going to grab another water real quick. Audio good, too loud, too quiet. It should be very easy to hear, but not louder than me. Fine? Okay. I mean, I don't need fine, I need, like, good, though. But anyway, alright. No, we're good. We're good. I want to make my camera a tiny bit bigger. I know I made it small last time, and I know why I made it small last time, but I'm not fucking with that life no more. Fucking. Come on, escalators. There we go. Alright, let's see what's up.
Welcome to How to Cook That. I'm Anne Reardon, and this is another episode of Cake Rescue, where I take viral cake fails and show you how to rescue them. Let's start with the...
Oh, no, I don't want to rescue. I want a fucking debunk. Hold on. This isn't what I wanted. This isn't what I wanted, Anne. Debunking TikTok videos. No, this is it. This is
Welcome to How
money.
to Cook That. I'm Anne Reardon, and in this episode I will be debunking videos that you guys sent to me on Twitter.
This is money.
Let's start with this one sent in by Got Beef. It says, I never knew this about the inside of oranges. They're in the store with an orange on a drill. Then they pull it.
I casually, too. I also bring my drill, blowtorch, and lighter to the store to check out the oranges. How else are you going to know if they're good or not?
Out a blowtorch and heat the orange.
How long do you have to heat it that way?
Just not very long.
Then they turn off the blowtorch. She tries to blow it out, and they keep spinning the orange.
Wait.
And they turn off the blowtorch.
This bitch tried to...
She tries to blow it out, and they keep spinning the orange for a while.
Yeah, where are the workers in the facility? I know COVID's a thing, and she's not masked up at the moment because she's trying to blow out a blowtorch that she has on with the button. She has her finger on the fucking button, but is blowing on it to put it out instead of letting go. Anyway, I know COVID's a thing, and they're not masked up, and, like, it's scary to be around them. But, like, where are the workers to this facility that are letting them blowtorch an orange on a drill in the middle of the shop?
Even doing this?
The centrifugal force is pulling it down, and it's done something to the inside of this orange, and you're gonna see.
I love she knows they're full of shit. She's giving them big, like, no, that's not how that fucking works.
Weird.
Wow, they made orange jelly. Pretty impressive.
Who believed that? Okay, I'm all for this girl debunking stuff. Like Anne here, she's doing great, honey. But, like, who on TikTok is believing this in the first place?
Let me just bring up the point about centrifugal force. She was saying that was cooling the orange down and changing the inside of the orange.
Children, yeah, TikTok. I should have thought. My fault.
Centrifugal force is an apparent force that...
I feel like I should have chat on screen for this. Hold up. Hold up. All right, what if we do... Uh-oh. Chat, you gotta type something. Hi, there we go. That's perfect. You guys are killing it. You guys are doing amazing. There we go. All right, let's go.
Appears to pull something away from the center when it goes on a curved path. Really, it's actually just the inertia keeping the object on the path it was going.
Snowboarding,
rather than
sure.
pulling away from the center, but we call that apparent force centrifugal force. We can demonstrate that by
She's
getting
a
James to
scientist?
spin a bucket of water over his head.
She's a
And as you can
professional
see,
chef, a
he
TikTok
doesn't get
debunker,
wet
and a scientist.
because the
This
force
woman.
is keeping the water on the path going round the circle so that it doesn't come down on top of him. So what if we spin an orange? Well, as you know, oranges don't just have juice inside as one bucket of water sort of thing. They have lots of little sacs of juice. So that'd be a bit more like spinning, say, a bucket full of water balloons. Let's get James to do that as well. He is such a good sport. And as you can see, the water balloons are not falling out. And if we have a look in the bucket at the end, they are also not broken. They've just stayed intact because they're just lots of little sections. Now,
Okay, I don't need her to explain to me the inside. Like, she's doing great, but I'm not here to hear the inside of oranges.
Let's test it out.
Yeah, okay, this is what I'm here for. This is the content I'm here for.
Time as they did. I'm not going to show you the whole long process because they drew it out for as long as they could, obviously to get the long watch time. And
They're
then
trying to get that
I'm
8-minute
gonna keep
YouTube
it
mark.
spinning for the same amount
Where
of
the
time
money
as
is.
they did. And now, after all that, let's cut the orange in half, and inside you have
An
a
orange!
normal orange, of course. But their video had 20 million views on Facebook.
Good
which means the
fucking
Facebook
night.
Algorithm is promoting that
Of
video
course it
and
did.
paying them to do dumb stuff like that. Now, if we go to the actual page that they uploaded it on and read the full description,
My
right
mic's
down
peaking,
on the
alright.
fourth line, it says this. This was a funny magic trick we did in store as a joke.
Garbage!
I know, I must have different humour to them. But that information, as I said, was on the fourth line, which means it doesn't show anywhere that the video is. It doesn't even show on the page the video is on unless you click see more, and most people don't even see that information. This next video
They know damn
is
well what
sent
they're
in
doing.
by Morgan, who says this video is stupid and dangerous.
They know damn well what they're doing.
What actually happens because I know it isn't factual. So she's picked up this is a fake. Well done.
Here, hold on. I'm going to fix the peak. I know why the peak happened. The peak happens when I turn on the noise suppression, and the noise suppression gets rid of my air conditioning. And it's still warm in here, but I'm gonna eat it. I'm gonna hold that for a little bit. All right, so let me get the noise suppression out of here because I'm pretty sure that's what makes me peak. If I peak again, let me know. All right, that should fix it. If it doesn't, let me know. I'll play around a little more. Here we go.
And Morgan, let's check it out.
If it echoes, let
She
me know.
puts strawberries and razor blades into
She
a
fucking
container.
what?
I can understand why you said it was dangerous. And shakes them around for a minute and a half to keep people watching for longer. And then finally reveals perfectly diced strawberries. Well, I agree, Morgan, this is not going to work.
Who is believing this? Who is believing it? It's fucking Facebook, man. It's Facebook and TikTok. It's Facebook and TikTok. It's old people and babies. It's old people and babies and stay-at-home moms who are too bored. That's it. That's the limit. That's the fucking cap. It's
For
anti-vaxxers.
you, I'm going to do it. Firstly, hull the strawberries. Now, I've got a knife and a chopping board out. I could, of course, dice the strawberries while I'm here, but let's not do that. Let's do the hack. Add the razor blades to my strawberries.
She even put them in there. She gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Add the lid, start a timer for a minute and a half, and start shaking. The razor blades are so thin that most of them are just sticking flat to the container's edge as soon as there's any moisture. They might as well not even be in there, but I'll keep shaking for the full time. As you can see now, most of the razor blades are still stuck to the edges, and We have not diced the strawberries. We've basically just smashed them against the sides of the containers and mixed them with the razor blades, which we now need to find and take out. There were 8 of them, so I just need to check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's another one in there somewhere. Let me find that. Now, once again, when you go to their actual Facebook page, so you can see the full description and click see more, so you can see that invisible 4th line, it says this page publishes videos that are intended for entertainment purposes only. This includes scripted dramas, satires, parodies, and magic tricks.
And lies.
You
Don't
may
forget
think
lies.
This comes under magic tricks. You know what I think about that already. Anyway, let's check out this next one. This is from Aussie's Delight on Instagram, and it also says it's a strawberry hack.
When you get your strawberries, do not wash
Yeah, those smashed strawberries also looked gross.
it. Just remove it from the pack that it comes with and store in a glass jar. Any glass airtight jar will do. I've had these strawberries going to 2 weeks and see how fresh they are.
Let's test that out and see if it works. This one, by the way, has 27 views. Not 20 million views, 27 views. So I'm going
If there was going to be one that worked, it would be this one.
to make this fair by taking half of the strawberries from each punnet in case one punnet was more fresh than the other. They're both from the same store on the same day, but just in case. And then I'll put all these other ones into the one punnet and put them both in the fridge. 9 days later, and the ones in the punnet look a bit dry and old, and the ones in the jar still look brand new, plump and perfect.
How did I know?
Now,
How did I know
think
that was going to be
is
the real
sort
one?
of hack that I'm looking for. Hacks that actually work and are helpful to people.
And it's the one with no
Aussie's
views.
Delight. I'll put a link to her.
Get their ass,
Instagram
Ann.
post
Get 'em.
below. Go give her some love on Instagram, because you know the algorithm isn't going to, because it was helpful. It wasn't rubbish. Anyway, moving on. Next we have one from TikTok that was sent to me quite a few times by quite a few of you. And Jen asks, is there really enough pectin in pears to make this work? Basically, they're mixing sparkling lemonade, pears, salt, and red vinegar.
I don't know what
bringing
pectin
it
is.
to a boil, and once it cools down, they've got this jelly, this pear jelly thing going on. Now, to answer your question, Jen, no, there's not enough pectin in one pear to set that amount of liquid. I think this is probably a matter of lost in translation. I think they've got one ingredient label wrong there, but we'll make it their way first just to show you what happens, and then I'm going to swap something out. Put the lemonade into a pan, add a sliced pear, some salt, red wine vinegar, bring it to the boil, and then pour that into a glass. Dave's going to love that. While that cools, let me make another one with the same ingredients, except, as I said, I'm going to swap out one thing. I'm going to take out the salt and swap that for agar powder.
For
Now,
what?
you need to boil any solution that you add
She
agar
made that up.
to in order for it to gel. And I'm not adding vinegar to this one just because I think it will taste nicer without it, and it's going to make no difference to the recipe. Let them both cool, and then Dave can be our taste tester.
Do I just drink it like this?
Yeah.
Oh! No! That was definitely an unexpected.
Okay, for a comparison, I need to see Dave do a shot of whiskey. Just so I know how he typically reacts to things that taste like bitter or might not be super pleasing to the palate immediately. I need to see how Dave reacts to a shot of whiskey. Because there's two options here, okay? Either Dave is not going to react to the shot of whiskey, and this is really, really, really disgusting, or this isn't that bad, and a shot of whiskey would kill Dave immediately. There's no in between here. I just need to see how he reacts.
Hit of seawater.
This one, same recipe, one ingredient different.
Okay, all right, let's compare it.
Like a Jell-O?
Yeah, it's actually okay. Quite nice, quite fresh, light, pear-flavoured jelly. Good one.
Now, before we move on, I just
How much
want
does she
say
pay
a
Dave to say this?
huge
I believe that she does way better, but how much does she pay Dave to say that?
thank you to everyone who has pre-ordered my dessert cookbook. I announced it in the last episode.
Crazy Sweet Creations. That's her dessert cookbook by Anne. Anne Reardon. There you go.
It was sitting at #1.
She hit a bestseller. Good for her.
Baking cookbooks in the US and #1 in books overall on Amazon in Australia, which was just crazy. Like, you guys, you literally blew me away.
Killing it.
So
Good
to
for
say
her.
Thank you. I want to run
What
a
can't
competition
she
for
do?
Everyone who pre-orders
What?
the book. If you haven't already pre-ordered, it's not too late. You can do that. And written and out. It's
What
covered.
can't she do?
Everything is written both. Hopefully that's good for all of you. Make sure you vote and you can go and enter to win. That I didn't take. See what and enter chocolate desserts, of course.
Okay, Anne, where's
This is
where's
another
this video at?
TikToks every time. Okay, next.
Here we go.
This is another TikTok one.
They are not putting steak in a toaster.
And this is showing us how to cook steak in a toaster. Now, I assume that this probably should be possible. I mean, the
I knew their skin color before I saw it.
toaster is a heat
It's always
source,
white
so
people.
it should work, but the question is why? And
Am I still peeking, by the way, or did that problem go away?
also, is it going to be food safe to then use that toaster again for anything else? So let's check it out.
And it
Now, I
fucks up
set
the
a timer
toaster.
on-
There's too much liquid in steak. That's like your toaster's gonna literally shock you.
On my phone so I could see how long it took, and after 20 minutes of repeatedly putting it down, the steak was finally hot enough for the rare setting on my thermometer, and the whole toaster was hot to touch. I don't think it's supposed to be on for that long.
She said it took her 20 minutes to cook this thing in the toaster. To toast
Now,
this.
I couldn't get it out using tongs, so I had to unplug it and then use a fork. So never use a fork if it's plugged in, obviously. And then let's see what it's like. It's a bit tough. The knife makes this look tender, but trust me, it's not. The knife is just super sharp. Now, my main concern is not for the steak, it's for the toaster.
It looks
The
like a human
tray
liver.
has uncooked meat juice on it, which can harbour bacteria, and I can wash that tray, but I can't wash the inside of the toaster itself, which also has meat juice in it.
Meat juice.
Now, instead of going down the path that most TikTokers seem to do when they're criticised about a food video they make, they just say this was for entertainment purposes only, and they add that somewhere in the fourth line or below of their description. Juliet chose not to do that. Apparently, in an interview with Insider, she said this: I recommend more people cook with their toaster. My toaster did survive. I just cooked shrimp yesterday in my toaster, and it grilled it perfectly.
Somebody take the toaster away from this woman. What country is she in? They legally ban her from owning toasters.
Well, I would suggest you don't do that, people. And I don't have a stove or an oven, only a coffee maker.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, because I made a bloomin' onion right next. I made a bloomin' onion in one slot in my toaster yesterday, and it was right next to the lobster, which I also made in my toaster.
Toaster.
Clam chowder, anybody? My toaster's
boyfriend
fresh.
wanted-
I just bought another one. I decided I was gonna get more cooking done all at once. I got New England clam chowder up and ready to go. I'm just gonna throw it in my toaster real quick.
steak for dinner, so I popped the steak in the toaster. I find that very interesting that Insider didn't follow that up by watching
Toaster lasagna.
her other videos, because in this video it appears like she has a stovetop and an oven. Now, fair enough, Insider, so I popped
I don't have a stove or an oven. Only a coffee maker, toaster, and hair straightener. My boyfriend wanted steak, so I popped it. Honest to God, she might have been better in the hair straightener. She cranked that bitch up to 1,000,000, and she just for like 5 minutes, and then move it over, and then hit that fucking. It might have came out better there. Do they live in the jungle? No, Anne calls her out on her bullshit right here. Check this out.
the steak in the toaster. I find that very interesting that Insider didn't follow that up by watching her other videos, because in this video it appears like she has a
Oh my god, bitch, what you cooking on? What's that?
stovetop and an oven. Now, fair enough, she
Why is there grapes and cheese and pepper and olive oil on this pan? Never let her cook again! Will tax fund... I don't care if it comes out of my tax dollars to someone for somebody to go make her a peanut butter and jelly every day. Never let her near anything. Is that I can't tell if it's tofu or butter or some kind of cheese.
could be in a different kitchen. But if we
Thumbs up!
at the bench top,
I'm gonna
in
fight her.
This one, it looks surprisingly similar to the bench top in the toaster with the steak video.
And got her on
moving
blast, though.
on. This is called Parasites in Pork Don't Like Pepsi. They basically get Pepsi and pour it onto their pork, and then they
drink the
They
Pepsi.
say these are little worms, and if we fast forward,
Oh, gross.
let me try putting Pepsi on pork, the things we do, and let's see
She knows this is such bullshit. I like Anne a lot.
what happens. Pour on the Pepsi, and then let's zoom in and see if anything comes out. Oh, look at that. Wow, so there's another one. Why is this happening?
Didn't think it would be real. It's not worms. I believe that wholeheartedly. I believe it's not worms wholeheartedly, but I didn't think anything would happen here.
Let me zoom out and show you why that's happening. I have a needle going through the paper plate
And you dirty hack, you got me.
and into the pork, sitting just under the surface so I can press out the fat on top. And it can look a little bit like a worm, but it's not a worm, it's just white fat. Personally, I think that this prank is one of the more dangerous ones to be shared around the internet. And
Yeah, because you know what it does? It gets people buying Pepsi when there's perfectly good Coke products out there.
the reason for that is because pork parasites are a real thing. The most
Oh, okay. Annie and I went different directions with that. I thought I thought she was going to say something else.
most commonly known one would be trichinella, which can cause trichinellosis. What happens if you eat meat that is infected
Oh my, and she's a doctor.
with the trichinella larvae is when you eat it and the meat gets digested, the larvae gets released from the meat. It sits in your intestine for a couple of days and grows to full size. In that time, you can get nausea and vomiting and diarrhea and feel quite unwell. But then that larvae travels in your bloodstream and gets into your muscle tissues, where it can cause an immune response and swelling, particularly around the eye area. And depending where they go to, it can cause very serious illnesses and muscle pain and can make you sick for months. So they're showing how to test if your pork has this parasite. But it's the wrong test. This is not going to work. You could have trichinella larvae in your meat, pour Pepsi on it, and you will not see it. If you want to know
I wonder how much Pepsi paid the TikTokers to make that ad. Because you know how many people went out and bought Pepsi and they're doing it on all their pork? Like, I guess none of my pork has any of the worms. Like,
if it's in your meat, what you need to do, which is what they do here in Australia and they do in the US before the meat gets to the market, so they know if you're buying pork at the shops, it's very, very unlikely in the US or Australia to have this in it.
America, fuck yeah.
They have to puree the meat up, then they digest it using stomach acid, which is a lot stronger than your Pepsi or your Coke. And then they keep it warm and agitate it for about 20 minutes to digest that meat. They then pour it into different beakers just to concentrate it down. And now that fluid there, you can see, you can't see any worms in it with the naked eye because the larvae are tiny. So they put it under a microscope and there you go. Now you can see the little trichinella larvae that were there in that meat, but you would not be
Where'd
able
she
to
get
see
this
it
footage?
with your naked eye. Even if the Pepsi could digest the meat, you will not see it just looking at it. So by saying to someone you can test your meat this way, that's not a good thing. There are countries where this is a big issue, and also for people, if you're in the US, the number one cause of people getting it there is people hunting their own meat, particularly bears or wild boar, and then eating it. So if you think you can test your meat, this is not going to work for you. So what you need to do is cook it really, really well because heat is going to kill it. There's no rare steaks. What's next?
Now I'm getting hungry.
5 Minute Craft says if we put potatoes into a tube with bottle caps attached to the top and then spin it with a drill,
What is with these people and drills?
the potato will be peeled.
3 bottle caps on the lid of a Pringles can? No, Anne, that face right there. Anne and I are on one. 3 bottle caps? I can't even fit my hand in a Pringles can. How do they think the potatoes are going to move around in there?
Okay, let's try that out. Put the lid on, spin it around, and dip it out. And of course, our potatoes are not peeled at all. Bottle caps are sharp enough that they could scrape off the potato peel, perhaps if they were all around the inside of the tube rather than just on the lid. But there'd be tiny little scrapings, not big peelings you get when you peel it with a potato peeler. I was also sent this 5 Minute Crafts video as well, where they get a plate and they cut a zigzag pattern out of the plate and they use it to put a pattern on the side of the cake. and on the top too. But then all of a sudden the pattern goes from the really small zigzags that were on our paper to these huge.
I'm not gonna lie, this doesn't seem like the stupidest idea in the
Use it to
world.
put a pattern
If you keep the plate folded up. Like, you would need a smaller cake and keep the plate folded so that way you got enough grip strength in it for this.
on the side of the cake.
This doesn't
And on
seem
the
like it
top
would be that
too.
awful.
But then all of a sudden the pattern goes from the really small zigzags that were on our paper to these huge zigzags that are now on the cake.
That could have been like a real video, but then they went and changed all the shit up to make it look better.
And they add sprinkles on top. Now, I'm not sure why they faked this, because technically it should work. It's
Thank
just
you, Anne.
icing and it's just a piece of cardboard.
Thank
It
you,
would have been
Anne.
my first choice for what to use if you didn't have a proper cake scraper. But let's try it and see if we can get it to work. It's not great the first time round, but if I repeat it at the same spot a few times, we can make it smoother. A better hack would be to cut an ice cream container lid because it's much firmer. It's not as flimsy as the plate.
Oh
and
my
it
God,
gives
Anne
you a
said get
much
fucked.
Sharper pattern. on
Anne
the
said get
cake.
fucked.
You will need to go
Dummies.
across it several times. So here is the side done with the paper plate, and here is the side done with the ice cream lid. I'll just quickly run the ice cream lid the whole way around the cake so that it is even. And there we go.
See, the effort in her videos is nuts, by the way. She became a scientist and a doctor and baked a whole cake at least, and also made that jello, that pear jello shit.
Done. Michelle, thank you for sending in this next one, also by 5 Minute Crafts. They put sugar into a fry pan and turn on the heat, and that looks burnt. And then they put a different looking number 5 on top of the cake. Let's look at those side by side. This is not the method I would use to make a sugar 5 at all, but I will do it their way and see what happens. Arrange some sugar into a number 5 shape, turn on the heat and let it melt. Then once it's cold, try and get it off the pan. Now it is of course stuck because sugar really sticks to things well, and it has broken. If you look at the pieces anyway, it is quite dark, and if I taste it, it tastes burnt. Now, here is how.
To be fair, they didn't say that the 5 would taste good. You could treat it kind of like a candle. You don't eat the candle, right? Unless you're a One Piece fan. But, you know, like, the hat could have been a thing, but again, they still lied and used a whole different one anyway.
I would suggest you do that if you want a sugar number on top of your cake. Put sugar into a pan and add enough.
Now, Anne's about to tell us a way better way to do this, though, is the kicker. Well, let me just chat real quick. Get all back up here where you guys belong.
Water to make it wet, then turn on the heat and stir until the sugar is dissolved. Wash down the sides of the pan using a wet pastry brush. This is important to get any sugar crystals off the sides, and then let it boil unstirred until it's just starting to turn golden. It goes from golden to burnt very quickly, so pull it off the heat. Now pour that onto non-stick baking paper in the shape of a 5.
Oh no, I need talent for this. I can't do that.
You have enough there to make a few, so you can choose your favourite one. Once it's cool, it just peels off the baking paper and you can add it to the top of your cake. With thanks to my patrons for your support every month, here is a list of absolute legends.
This woman is this is the first real video I've seen of this. This woman's a saint. All right, there's no way around it. This woman's just a saint. Thank you, Anne. Hey, chat. While I have you guys want to see the best clip I think I've ever made on Twitch? It won't get the love it deserves. But it's hard to make a better clip than I did with this one. It was a clip of Omega's channel. You might have seen it from the other day if you were in a stream. And he was watching a Dr. K video. And then Omega said some shit.
People's experiences.
And then Dr. K said some shit. Not the Dr. K from TSRP, a different one. This is fine. Let's do this. So anyway, Omega says some shit, and then Dr. K says some shit. And it's just the things that they said in conjunction. It's as if he called Omega out on his own bullshit, which just rarely happens. He's usually just allowed to get away with these things. Let's listen to this.
people's experiences. That person's precisely
That couldn't be me. Like, I could never feel dwarfed because of the fact that I'm like 6'7". Like, you know, like being tall really isn't all it's cracked up to be. Like, if you guys are short, like I would say the perfect height is like grabbing something random out of my head, like 5'9".
Now, if you guys don't know or understand Omega at all, he is lying and making a joke at the same time. Omega is 5'8", 5'8.5", 5'9" on a good day. And he is very regularly angry at people who are taller than him. You know, it's like a joke thing, right? So Omega just lied to make a joke right there. So, anyway, let's just run this back one more time.
Couldn't be me. Like, I could never feel dwarfed because of the fact that I'm like 6'7". Like, you know, like being tall really isn't all it's cracked up to be. Like, if you guys are short, like I would say the perfect height is like grabbing something random out of my head, like 5'9" would be like the perfect height. Like, as a 6'7" dude, like life really isn't all that great.
correct, but it's the other way around.
He came out of the clip! Dr. K came out of the rant! He's exactly right, but everything's flipped. Omega hadn't seen this video. Where he paused and what he said, and then where he unpaused, like... This is nutty.
Or like I would say the perfect height is like grabbing something random out of my head, like 5'9" would be like the perfect height. Like, as a 6'7" dude, like life really isn't all that great.
Correct, but it's the other way around. People's experiences. That person's precisely
That couldn't.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the best clip I've ever grabbed. It's probably the best clip I ever will grab. All right, now the bad news, I don't know which one of these... Oh, there we go. I don't know which one was Omega's clip and which one wasn't. All right, chat. If you didn't have the video, you'd think they were... Yeah. Yeah, you really would. Omega... Yeah, all those numbers he just pulled right out of nowhere. Now, chat, the question now is, like, do we do more and debunking videos? Or do we move on? I can always play Breath of the Wild. I can turn on Pokemon Unite. I haven't played Unite in some days. I do need my daily login bonus shit. We have options, is what I'm saying. One more and? We can do one more and. We have, can you make ice in a microwave? We have, can you make ice in a microwave? Debunking the Japanese cake recipe. That's a shorter one. Blossom's fake video exposed by food scientist. That one looks like steak. That'll make me hungry. Or just a general debunking viral videos. I kind of like the idea of debunking viral videos as a whole. Again, I think that's going to be more like content slam. All right, I was going to let this...
Welcome to How to Cook That.
I was going to let you guys pick, but I'm picking, all right? And it's this one.
I'm Anne Reardon, and in this episode we are doing another debunking video where I take viral how-to videos off the internet and check if they even work. Let's start with this one that was sent in by Boyd. We've got a third of a cup of pasta plus half a cup of water, microwave that for 2 minutes, and add a third of a cup of milk.
Hey, where did the water go?
And half a cup of cheese. I can tell how much they're adding because I recognise the cup set that they're using. And then they stir it.
Hold on.
And then they stir it.
How from one frame to the next did it get creamier?
Set that they're using. And then they stir it.
There's a hotkey on YouTube where you can go frame by frame, and if I knew what it was, I would use it. I think it might be. I found it. It's period and it's comma. One frame. They just zoomed in and pressed enhanced. One frame. This garbage, that's creamy. But they zoomed in, so maybe we just weren't seeing it properly before.
And then they have a full cup of pasta with beautiful cheese sauce all over it. Really easy, 2 minutes in the microwave. Let's test it out. So we've got our noodles,
I haven't had good mac and cheese in a while. I'm upset.
our water, and I'm going to microwave that for 2 minutes. Now most of the water boiled over and it's on the plate in the microwave. The pasta isn't cooked. 2-minute noodles that you get at the shops have already been steamed and fried at the factory. So they're already partially cooked, and that's why you can cook them in 2 minutes. But this normal pasta hasn't been cooked before. So you're going to need to get the water boiling and then give them between 5 and 10 minutes to cook depending on the thickness of that pasta. But anyway, let's keep going and follow their instructions.
She said they're full of shit, but we'll do what they said anyway.
Add the milk and then the cheese and stir that all around, and we have cheesy pasta. Even when I microwaved it again to melt the cheese,
gross.
I still end up with something that looks unappetizing and gross, but let's see what Dave thinks.
Oh, poor Dave.
Oh, cheesy pasta. I'm a big fan of pasta. Ah, no.
I wonder if Dave ever likes the food hack. Like, what if there's just a shot in hell that, like, they made some garbage and there was no thought into it, but randomly it wasn't that bad, and Dave didn't hate it.
It's a little pre-al dente. Certainly the pasta isn't done right, and there's a strange milky custard sort of thing within there that does not draw me back for more. That was gag worthy.
This next one is
Gag.
an old one
Dave, you didn't gag. All right, don't lie to me.
from Blossom. It's been around for ages, but I saw it re-uploaded, so thought we should probably give it a go. They take the lead from a pencil.
I'm a little upset she didn't show us how to properly make pasta in a cup, because she usually does that. But
And put it in the microwave with a bit of water and end up with a diamond. Like, if that worked with water, they take the lead from a pencil and put it in the microwave with a bit of water and end up with a diamond.
this isn't even food.
Like, if that worked, we'd all have more diamonds in our house. Lots of diamonds everywhere. But of course, it doesn't work. Even 5 Minute Crafts has done a video saying this doesn't work
5-minute crafts. Apparently the kings of making things that don't work.
when they tried it. Which is interesting because in the same video by 5 Minute Crafts, they say that if you get an iPhone that's broken and you put toothpaste on it and you wipe it off, it doesn't fix the iPhone screen. So they're debunking that, but who was it who came up with that in the first place? Who was it who made a video with that on the thumbnail that went viral? That's right, it was 5 Minute Crafts.
Oh, man! Get him in. Get him in. They're still millionaires for running that YouTube channel, but still, get him in. Chat, whatever happened to... You guys remember that brief period? I hope Anne's done a video on this. You guys remember that brief period that exploded on Twitter and probably everywhere else, where people were fixing everything with instant ramen noodles? You guys remember that? There'd be like a chunk out of like a concrete slab or like a car or a house or some shit, and people would go over it with it was like Gorilla Glue and ramen noodles, and then they would sand it down and paint over it, and they'd be like, it's good now. What happened to those? Did Anne debunk those? Yeah, there'd be a chunk out of like the sink, the porcelain sink, and they'd fix it with ramen and super glue. No way that's real, because you don't hear anybody talk about it no more.
So
I need Anne on this.
5 Minute Crafts is debunking themselves now, finally, admitting not everything we say is true. So they've gone from debunking each other to now debunking themselves.
So the bad news is that 5 Minute Crafts is this horrible company, and they're making a shit ton of money off this. But the good news is that a nice person like Anne also gets to make, something out of this. So if you got to look on the bright side, that's it.
Don't know. Anyway, the reason that you don't want to follow this tutorial is if you put graphite from a lead pencil in the microwave, it can actually react with the microwaves, particularly if there's any oil from your fingers or anything oil on the bowl. It's going to have an effect. Let me show you what happens when I put a thin pencil lead in the microwave.
She's ruining a microwave for us, chat. Because she's a saint. What the fuck?
Yes, and this is why some people have set their microwaves on fire, because if you've walked away, leaving it for a long time, trying to get it to turn into diamonds, you can see how you could easily actually set your microwave on fire.
Okay, 5-minute crafts are scumlords for making those videos, but it's kind of Darwinism. People doing this in their own houses.
Doing that. If it was in water, then it's
Shoutouts to the time my son microwaved my phone. Oh, TWP, I'm sorry.
probably not going to react like that. But if you leave it for a while, that water's going to bubble over, boil over, disappear, and you're going to get those flames. So don't do that at home. Next, if we go back to Blossom's video,
A rock in the water.
put a rock in the microwave in a glass of water, and it splits open, and you have crystals. And it says crystals form in rock gas bubbles. Technically, yes, crystals do form in gas bubbles in rock, but it's usually in volcanic rock, and it's over thousands of years. It's not over 3 minutes in the microwave. If you get a rock and put it in a glass of water in the
She even found a cool fucking rock.
microwave, the water is going to boil, and you're going to end up with a hot rock. That's it. But maybe they weren't saying that. Maybe they were saying if you take a geode, something that already has the crystals and is hollow on the inside, and put that in water in the microwave for 3 minutes, it will crack it open beautifully. Let's put a geode in water in the microwave for 3 minutes and see what happens. So far, nothing.
Now she's an archaeologist.
For about a minute and a half, the water starts to boil, and it starts to really bubble. It's going a bit crazy. You can hear the rock rattling around in there. And now that's been 3 minutes. If I pull this one out, give it a few whacks.
Real
It's
crisp
not
audio on the
cracking,
wax
it's
there.
not cracked. There is no way this is going to open. This is not how you open a geode. Moving on to the next one in the same video. They take some sand and spread it out, add some water and some heat from a blowtorch, and they get these pieces of glass. Let's try that one out.
They stole that from Minecraft.
I have some sand here, thanks to Joel for letting me take some from his sand pit. Add some water, and let's
I'm gonna look really stupid if this is real.
heat this
If this is
up.
like the
Now,
one that's real.
Firstly, of course, we're just evaporating the water that we added, so I'm not quite sure why we added it. And then burning the little bits of wood that were in the sand. And then a minute later, let's check the temperature. It's a little bit hotter than boiling water, so let me keep going. If I concentrate the heat just on one spot rather than moving it around, I reckon I can get it really hot. Look at that, it's glowing red. The temperature now is nearly 200 degrees centigrade or nearly 400 degrees Fahrenheit. That is really hot. So let's have a
The hell is centigrade?
look and see what happened.
Is that what Australians
There's
call
no
Celsius?
glass. It didn't work. What a surprise.
Okay, thank God. Yeah, they literally just stole that. They stole the whole make from Minecraft. They stole the whole make from Minecraft. They're like, just put sand in the oven and get glass.
So why didn't it work? Sand is the main
What am I watching? This is a very lovely woman named Anne, and she debunks those like little 5-minute TikTok, Facebook videos you see. And it's like, if you put noodles and cheese and water in a cup and for 2 minutes, it comes out and it's really good mac and cheese, and you just have that. And then Anne's like, that's bullshit. And then she tries it, and then she shows us that it's bullshit.
ingredient in glass, so they got that right. But there's also 2 other ingredients, usually soda ash and lime, and several other little purifying ingredients that they usually add when they're making glass.
Shouldn't cook it with
as
coal.
well.
Simple
So
mistake.
if I added those 2 ingredients and then the blowtorch, would it have melted to make glass? No, it wouldn't, because we got it to 200 degrees centigrade. We needed to get it to 1,600 degrees centigrade, or nearly 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
So almost. I mean, they were close, is what she's saying.
That's hotter than molten lava.
Or not.
That's the temperature you need
She didn't use Pepsi. Yeah, you gotta put a little Pepsi on top.
to melt the sand down to make glass. There's no way I could get it that hot, and if I did, I'm going to be burning a hole in my benchtop right the way through, so I'm glad that we didn't. As well as all those facts not adding up, to make flat glass like they got at the end of their video is actually really difficult. The way glass manufacturers do it is they melt down metal, so they have molten metal,
Now she makes glass.
and then they float the molten glass over the top, because anything that's melted will go until it's level, so they've got a perfectly level surface that they can then set the
I don't think Glass Whisperer is the official name of people who make glass, but yeah.
glass on top of. Okay, let's move on to the next one. They pour orange fizzy drink into a cup and then add some white fabric, stir it around, and the colouring is transferred to the napkin, and it says the drink is full of colouring and chemicals. Well, of course the drink is full of colouring and chemicals. If you look on the back of the label, it tells you it's got colouring, flavouring. Of course it does. That's why people drink it. It tastes nice, it's sweet, it has a nice flavour, and the colouring just means it doesn't look completely white when you drink it. But the question is, if I put a napkin into a cup, is it going to absorb all of that colour?
No fucking chance.
Let's take a look. Add some white fabric, which makes it bubble, but the colouring is just not coming out onto the fabric. Apart from adding orange colour to the cloth, which you can see they did because the orange is going up the wooden stick, they've also switched out the orange drink for water. I would like one of those magic cloths that just absorb all the colour though, wouldn't you? Because up the wooden stick. They've also switched out the orange drink for
Oh, she did it too. I looked over at their video for a while, and when I looked back, hers was clear. And I was like, wait, did it work?
water. I would like one of those magic cloths that just absorb all the colour though, wouldn't you? Because if that existed, they should get into stain removal, because that would be awesome. Just put it next to something and all the colour comes out and you've got the stain gone perfectly clean. All right, what's next? A Chef Club original now. We've got 2 packets of ramen noodles.
Put it on a sink. Put it on a sink.
Dip them in water, put cheese between them, wrap it in
Damn it, it's food.
foil, put a toaster on its side and put it in, and you've got yourself grilled cheese ramen.
Can you put tinfoil in a toaster? I know you can't put it in a microwave.
Now, I hope that you can tell that was totally fake just by watching it, because we go from a packet of ramen, cheese, ramen, which is like this thick, and then when they go to put it in the toaster, it's only this thick. They've taken half of it out because there's no way that's going to fit in a toaster slot. The other problem with this, of course, is the toaster manufacturers have repeatedly been saying
Metal foil packages must not be inserted into the toaster, or they may involve risk of fire or electric shock. Bingo, I'm not a dipshit.
don't put alfoil in the toaster because you're at risk of electrocution and fires from doing that, so I'm not even going to bother repeating that. Let's skip ahead in their video to this next one. They've got some brownie batter. Pour in half the batter, then mix together cream cheese, noodles,
Do I need to ask?
and sugar. Oh, that looks disgusting. Sometimes salty and sweet do go together really well, but these noodles aren't even salty. I haven't even got any salt with them, and I'll be shocked if this tastes good.
Come on, Dave.
Let's
Show me Dave. Show me what Dave thinks.
put brownie mixture in a tin, add the noodles and the sugar to the cream cheese. Now this, of course, is not just going to mix together. Even though I've let the cream cheese soften, it's still way too thick just to stir, so I'm going to have to take out the noodles and then beat the cream cheese and the sugar together, and now stir in the noodles. I just can't help but think
Prayers
about
up to
that.
Dave. He's gonna have to try this horrendous pile of shit.
Oh well.
Is Dave gonna survive this one, chat?
Spread that on top of the brownie mixture. It really does look disgusting. And then cover more brownie mixture over the top and sprinkle the top with more noodles, and then bake that in the oven. There it is. We've got a lovely layer in the middle there. Let's get Dave's verdict.
What is the point of throwing noodles? It's just, you could just have brownies. You could just have brownies, but they just threw noodles in there for no reason.
It's like they took 2 good foods and mixed them together and ruined both of them.
So I thought I'd do a taste test with this one.
I think Dave took that a lot better. Because if you think about it, the noodles, if they were using like ramen, like flavorless, like they don't have like a specific flavor on them, they were just using like plain noodles. Noodles alone, they're not that bad. You literally just fucked up brownies at that point. Maybe that wasn't as bad as we were
With the
thinking.
kids as well, and I left
No, they put the cheese or whatever, the cream cheese in it, which you know, whatever.
the plate in the kitchen, and everyone had a little taste, but nobody wanted any more, and it ended up having to be thrown in the bin. So it really is not a recipe I'd recommend. Next we have another 5-minute crafts one. They take some bread and brush it with melted butter.
Good start.
Your knife would have been easier than melting the butter using a pastry brush, but anyway, they add cheese and wrap it up in foil and then put an iron on it.
They really weren't fucking it up that bad until they got to the iron, man. Why? And then they just do this shit. That's why people should not be allowed to go unchecked, all right? I don't know who needs to check them. I don't know when they need to be checked, but people should just not be allowed to just go unchecked. I'll say it. More government interference. Someone needs to go door to door to make sure people aren't just doing shit like this on their own.
And then flip it over, leave it for 5 minutes on the other side. Now, irons are flat and they are hot, so I don't see why this wouldn't work, because basically it's like using a cheese toasty maker and you're just doing one side at a time. It should cook the bread and melt the cheese. Timing is tricky because you can't see what's happening, so whether it's going to burn it or not. The only other issue might be that my iron has an auto switch off function. I don't know if yours does, but if you leave it down flat and you're not holding the handle, it will turn itself off. But I'll still leave it for the time they said. It should turn back on when we flip it over.
Even if this works, it's just like, why would you not just make it on the stove?
So you've got a bit of time with it there as well. They might have got this idea from this really old picture of Johnny Depp in the 80s making cheese toasties this way, but they didn't have the safety feature back then, so it'll be interesting to see when we unwrap it. And look at that. It actually worked.
It didn't look like shit.
Beautifully toasted cheese toasties. So if you're in a hotel somewhere, there should be an iron in the hotel room normally, and you can have cheese toasties to your heart's content. Might be a lot cheaper than room service would be. Next, we've got pancakes, and they are dipping the bottom of the pan in and then flipping it over. Why? You have the tool that you need to make the pancakes in your hand.
They're holding the pan!
It's not like if you're in a hotel.
Cheese toasties, it's Australians. Just don't, if Australians ever say like gobbly bits or whatever the fuck, just assume, like, you have to, when you're listening to like Australians or like people from like England or whatever the fuck, you have to use context clues, okay? It's like in the 4th grade when they would take like a word out of a sentence and you would just have to guess the word. But like if they showed you a picture and they gave you like all the context of it, you just got to fill in whatever random Australian garbage they put in there. Like garbled crap. And you just got to fill it in.
Room and you only have an iron and no other way of cooking. You have a stovetop, you have a fry pan, put the pancake batter in the fry pan. If you go back in time to my 100-layer crepe cake, then you'll see that I effectively made 100 crepes in a pan the right way up, the easy way of doing it. I'm not sure why you would do it this way, but I will test it because someone sent it to me. I've got my pan. I bought a brand new one just for this. Dip it into the mixture. Now, it didn't cover the whole area. That surprises me. Put that over the heat. And I wonder if this will damage the inside of my pan. The non-stick side is just right on the heat there. Now you might notice this is starting to overcook on the outside, but it's not actually cooked in the center. Normally, of course, you'd flip a crepe over, but they don't do that on the bottom of the pan.
Y'all know how to cook pancakes, right? You got to cook one side until it starts to bubble, and then that's when you do the flip.
Now, trying to get it off. This is the tricky.
What do you guys call cheese toast? It's a grilled cheese. And here it's a grilled cheese.
God, I did grease this pan beforehand too. Those edges are just crunchy. And
It's even got the rings in it. It's got the rings in it.
Fry pan pattern on the pancakes. Let me try that again.
Serve that to someone in your house. Tell me they won't walk out.
Spread it out to even it, and it is stuck on those overcooked sides. Let me try a different pan. Well, that's looking the best so far. It's still overcooked on the edges and undercooked in the middle.
At least it hasn't got the rings on it.
Up. I mean, it's edible. It's just a bad way of doing something that you already have the tool in your hand to do an easier way. Next, I have an interesting question for you. Is Google getting greedy?
Where did this come from?
If you live in Australia, you may be familiar that there's currently a fight going on between the news media and Google and Facebook. News media are saying that they need to pay, and the ACCC, which is like an investigative body here that's been looking into it, has agreed. They're saying that news media used to make all their money off ads. Now all that money, or a lot of that money, is just going to Google and
Hell yeah, I'm for them. By the way, this is in October of 2020, so it's a little outdated.
Facebook for their ads, and the news media, local news, is going to have to shut down and pack up, which is not good for a democratic society. You want independent newspaper reporting on local news, local politics, local issues, and investigating into things. You've probably been bombarded with ads if you live in Australia. For those of you who haven't, let me show you the ads they're running. This is just one of many.
Proposed laws
I don't know what this has to do with cooking, but I'm hearing it out because it's Anne.
can be confusing. So I'll use an analogy to break it down. Take a seat. So this bus we're on picks up people at their homes and drops them off at restaurants all across town.
In case you're confused,
I am.
the analogy is saying the bus is Google, which when you search on Google, the bus drives you to the different websites you want to
Ew. A pro Google ad.
go to, and the restaurants in this analogy are the websites, particularly the news websites, because they're the ones who are going through this action of trying to get paid by Google. So let's go back to it.
Sure, people could have walked or driven themselves, but the bus is convenient. Under a new law being drafted,
I already hate
the
it.
bus driver would need to pay the restaurants delivering those customers to their doorstep.
Good.
Sounds weird, huh?
Good. Fuck
That's
Google.
not all. Even when she agrees to pay and starts to negotiate how much she should pay, nothing that she brings to the table is counted as part of the negotiations.
Good.
Not the fact that
What
she's
the fuck did knocking that over do?
is counted as part of the negotiations. Not the fact that she's delivering customers
Why?
to the restaurant. Not the cost of running the bus. Nothing.
Good. Hell yeah.
What's more absurd, she'll also be asked to cover some of the restaurant's costs too.
Good.
Half their electricity bill. Is this a joke? No, mate. I may be a comedian,
I don't know what happened, but I hope this law passed.
but this is no laughing matter.
So it sounds terribly unfair in the analogy that they gave, that now the restaurants or the news media are asking Google and Facebook to give them some money when they deliver the customers. So what is the problem? Why are they asking for that? Well, let me show you a few examples. If we search here, COVID New York,
October 2020.
instantly, you'll get this, all the daily data, the case numbers. Now note, we're still in Google search here. We haven't left the Google search page. So no one's getting paid except for Google for ads that are here. It is 100% good.
Yeah, the bus also has a built-in restaurant, and it heavily encourages you to eat the fucking bus's food before it drops you off anywhere you want to go.
Google. Now Google didn't research this data. Nobody typed in these numbers. Nobody made this graph. This data belongs to someone else. Google doesn't
Oh, they serve other restaurants food in the bus before taking you there. If you even still want to go after you're already eaten.
make content. Google is just the search engine.
I'm trying to
So
fill in the
where
analogy.
does
I'm sure she'll do a better job than me.
Well, if we zoom in and have a look, you can see the source here is the New York Times. But unless I actually click on that to go through to the New York Times, the New York Times has no way of getting paid. The only person who's getting paid here is Google. And that's part of the problem, because they're not just showing the search result to say you can go there and get the information, they're pulling the information and putting the information in search. If I give you another non-news related one so you can see what I mean, if we search for how to change a light bulb, I get pictures with instructions, not just the instructions, but I get all the photos. Again, this is not Google's photos. Google didn't write these words. They didn't make the instructions. And this is a very simple example, but I'm just wanting to show you. This is from homeserve.com. Someone that they paid to do that, did all of that, paid for the photos, and they don't get paid unless you click and go through to their website. But if all the
With ad blocker
information
off.
you needed was on the Google search page, then Google's getting paid, but this person's not getting paid. So is that fair, or is Google getting a bit greedy? Now, sure, this is called a featured snippet, And website owners can turn off featured snippet. They can say, I don't want you to be able to take the stuff from my site. I want you just to put a link. But if you do that, you will appear further down in the search results.
Then no one will
So
click
if
on you at all.
Back to the bus analogy, it's a bit like the bus driver pulling up at the restaurant, going inside, getting samples of all their food, bringing it back on the bus, letting everyone eat it, and then moving on to the next restaurant and doing the same thing. Now, sure, some people are still going to get off. They're going to go, oh, I really like that. I'm going to go in and get some more. But a lot of people are going to have had their fill and be quite happy just to get the little snacky bits from each restaurant they stop off at. And if that restaurant goes, whoa, we can't afford to just cook all this food and pay all the staff for you to take all free samples to give to millions of people, we don't want to give free samples, then Google goes, no worries, we'll just, instead of going to your restaurant first on the route that we're used to, we'll put you at the end of the bus route now. We'll go visit everyone else and then loop back around to you. The same thing is happening with video. I don't know if you've noticed this as well. Let's try if we search for how to fix a blocked dishwasher. Here we go, we've got a video. Even the bit I need is highlighted. I can click to watch and it doesn't take me through to YouTube. I'm still on the Google search page watching someone else's video that...
This is double fucked because Google owns YouTube. So they're literally just robbing the creator at this point. Like, they're not robbing YouTube because they own YouTube. They're robbing the creator whose video they're showing.
They've taken the time and the money to film and edit and produce, but I'm on Google search. I'm not on YouTube, which is a bit crazy. What if you try something like, I don't know, what's the temperature in Melbourne today? Well, there you go. Google has the answer. Except Google doesn't have the answer. Google doesn't know. They've pulled that information from someone else's website. In this case,
Google said we have food on the bus.
So Google is making billions of dollars from search ads and from the adverts they run while pulling content from different people's websites. So they've kind of gone beyond a search engine and become sort of the place you get the answers without going off Google ever. So have a look at it next time you search for something and you make up your own mind. Is this an issue or is this not an issue? With 90% of searches that take place on desktop computers are all done on Google. So they've got a lot of power there. And most websites have no choice.
They should definitely have to pay to use the
They deal with
snippets.
Google because Google's just too powerful.
They
which
should
is
definitely have to
why
pay to
in
use
this
the
case,
snippets.
The news media and
I don't know how much.
The government's got involved and said, you guys need to sort something out and you need to get this happening. Now, I'm not saying the media code they're suggesting is a good solution. There's a lot of stuff in there that I'm going, I don't think that's even going to help solve the problem, but there is a problem and something needs to happen. So there you go. A little bit of information.
She used her 3 million view video to educate Australians on how shitty Google is.
Both sides of the story, you're now highly
And this video still got thrown in the algorithm somehow.
informed. All right, moving on. We have limes and
That wasn't even an ad. That wasn't even like an ad bit. She's like, by the way, Australia's kind of fucked. Fuck Google. For like 5 minutes. But now we have limes.
water and sugar and sweetened condensed milk in a blender, then strain it into more water, and you've got a party drink. Now, I think it might be a little bit bitter with all the lime rind. Usually if you use the rind, you just use the green bit. You don't use that white pith because that's very bitter. But I don't know, it might be nice. I'm keen to give it a try.
Keen to make Dave give it a try.
Hopefully it's not too bad because Dave could probably do something a little bit nicer. Add the limes and the water and the sugar, the sweetened condensed milk, and blend that together. Strain it, pour it into more water, and then get a glass of ice and pour it in.
Come on, Dave. Come on, Dave.
Now, firstly, before I give it to Dave, let me just comment that this drink settles out. So if you leave it for about 5 minutes, it's all going to settle down to the bottom, which looks really gross. So you definitely don't want to put it in a big glass dispenser at a party. But anyway, let's see what Dave thinks. I don't think this is bad.
Drink the lime cum.
Compared
Drink
to
the lime cum.
the
Drink
previous
the...
one,
Dave, come on.
which almost made me vomit. Okay, great.
Is it good? Would you serve it at a party?
Depends who is coming, whether I like them or not.
Oh, Dave.
If people you liked were coming to a party.
if people I like to are recovering from surgery and needed like a healthy drink option, maybe.
That's not healthy.
Didn't know.
I want to say a
That's not healthy. By the way, the one thing you thought it had, it also doesn't have that.
big thank you to all my patrons. You guys are wonderful, and I'm so encouraged by your support.
Oh, Anne, you've done it again. How does she keep it up? How does she keep it up? Convinced Anne just hates Dave. Dave catches the back end. Dave catches the back end of a lot of shit. They served lime cum at a party. We demand more Anne. What do we have? Debunking fake banana hack viral videos. Is So Yummy the worst baking channel on YouTube? Well, I gotta get to the bottom of that one. I gotta get to the bottom of that one. Is So Yummy the worst? Hold on. Hold on, chat. All right, so we gotta get to the bottom of Is So Yummy the worst baking channel on YouTube? This one's from 2018, so it's late 2018, but it's some years back, probably before Anne made it big.
Welcome to How to Cook That. I'm Anne Reardon, and today I thought it would be fun to look at one of the most successful baking channels on YouTube.
Is it the worst though?
No, it's not my channel.
Oh.
They have
Oh, Anne got humor.
4.5.
What was her channel at back then? Oh no, she was still over a milli. I don't know what number that is, but she was over a milli at this point, so she'd been around for a while.
No, it's not my channel. They have 4.5 million subscribers and over 100 million video views a month. They had 115 million video views last month, and they started less than a year ago, so that's pretty impressive. Just to put it in context,
That's what it looks like when a channel gets pushed by the algorithm.
1 million views. That's more than, let's say, Liza Koshy plus Superwoman plus Rosanna Pansino put together. That doesn't add up even to 100 million, all of their video views combined. This is crazy word. This is huge, this channel. So it's got to be good, right? Because YouTube recommends good content, quality content.
Oh, Anne. Oh, Anne. Bless your soul.
Content is king. Good videos get views, right?
Anne. Anne.
So let's take a look. All their videos are in the same form.
Hold on. Guy said first time on Twitch, account created 15 minutes ago, following 12 minutes ago. Already knows how to use emotes in proper fashion. Mods, be ready.
Format. It's a compilation of lots of short, fast-forwarded cooking clips put to music. The videos actually look like they've been made for Facebook or Instagram, not for YouTube. I only say that because all of the videos are in square format, and YouTube's usually in the HD wider format. So it looks like they've made it for Facebook or Instagram and then just repurposed it.
Sounds about right.
Let's look at the first video on their channel. This one has 36 million views, and I think looking at that, it's one of their most viewed videos. So let's watch this one. So
36 million. What do we got? An entire... Just put the tub. You don't even got to do all the scoops. Just put the whole tub of strawberry ice cream in there.
Ice cream. Melt it over a double boiler. Wouldn't it have been easier to melt that in the microwave rather than over a double boiler?
Yeah, but the visual, Anne. The visual. Come on. I gotta think. This is before Anne was thinking content creator here. Not a chef, but Cake icing isn't made from ice cream and powdered sugar, though, right? Like, the name ice doesn't just... Ready. Oh, Anne's fucking ready. Fuck it up out there, Anne. All right, Anne, I can already tell you're pulling from two different pints of ice cream here, because one of them is just pure pink, and the other one actually has chunks of strawberry in there. I'm just saying, Anne. I don't know if this music's gonna get me Doom COD. We're just gonna mute while she works this out. There's the powdered sugar, Anne. 3 hours. Oh, wow. That looks like a liquid still. Oh, hold on. She's still whipping. She's not done whipping yet. For 5 minutes, well, 4.5 minutes. I'm sorry. I'm just not trying to play with his music. On Twitch or YouTube, for that matter.
Let's keep going. Now they're using their frosting to put together a cake, but my frosting is liquid. So I guess I'll just make up some Italian meringue frosting and colour it the same pink as the ice cream so it kind of looks like ice cream frosting.
Food coloring. And you're cheating. I mean, the rest of it's just cake, right? So it'll be fine. You just make your own real ice cream and not that garbage they were making.
So many times, all over YouTube, there's nothing amazing about that. It was the ice cream frosting that was amazing. Too good to be true, maybe. Let's move on.
Now we're talking.
Ice cream.
Oh no, my ice cream cone came on me. I hate it when that happens. I know what I'll do. I'll put a marshmallow in the bottom.
The second cone didn't even have a hole in the bottom of it.
Now that my ice cream cone doesn't have a hole in the bottom, and there's a marshmallow down there for some reason, my ice cream won't come on me anymore.
Okay, cooking hacks.
Now we're
2
talking.
empty soda bottles.
Toothpick, you can eat this.
There's barely any drips of juice coming out. And magically, now there's a whole jug of juice.
It would take 40 oranges to get that.
So it looks like it's been bought from the store. Basil.
Basil, Anne.
Jed is growing heaps of basil in the garden.
Oh my god, Anne.
So
I know you're Australian, but you only get so many strikes.
we should try this one. Okay, so basically, you take some basil, chop this one. Okay.
Chat. Over, under. Has Anne rolled a joint before?
Okay, so basically,
Over, under, chat. Has Anne ever rolled a joint in her life?
heaps of basil in the garden.
I know she's a chef and
Try
everything.
this one. Okay, so basically, you take some basil, chop it up, put it in a bowl with more basil, chuck it in the microwave for 60 seconds, take it out, and there's this magically dried basil.
Anne, you're either going to need to find a new word or start saying it right, alright? Can't keep doing this.
Mine is still damp and soft, warmed basil. Let me put it in again. Now it's fairly dry, but it doesn't look anything like theirs does, and it doesn't taste or smell of basil anymore. Oh wait, I think I must have missed a really important step in this recipe.
Oh, here we go, Anne.
Let me just do that. There we go. Now we can put that in the microwave, pull it out, and dried basil ready to go in my jar. Beautiful. See, it works, yeah.
Anne used to be a lot sassier back in 2018. 2018 Anne had a lot of sass to her.
Again, the same video. That's another thing about this channel is they only put up 3 minutes of new footage and then they just reshuffle and repeat old footage so they can extend the video out to be 10 or 14 minutes, which is what content
I'm going to start doing that.
farms do. So this is a bit like a content farm, I guess, so they can keep up with the constant upload schedule, which the algorithm seems to like. Constant, lots of videos every week. I thought YouTube had a rule against that, like a no duplicated content rule. Never mind.
Older Anne, 2018 Anne was sassier.
Gummy bear hacks. This is going to be useful.
Only the red ones. This is important. I don't know what's going on so far, but I know it's a bad sign because of how Anne's reacting, okay?
This doesn't even look like it would work.
What the fuck?
I'm going to try it.
I kind of hope it does. No, how did she better show me how to get the end result? Because this looks like a fucking that looks like a beverage or something, or dessert or some shit. And with this music, also you pick green. Can't think of an uglier color a gummy bear to do here. Did it work? Oh, she can't get the gummy out. She can't get the gummy out because it's just like hardened in there. Okay, but like it worked for the visual though.
Because it's like a gummy bear. The spoon can't get into the gummy part because it's like a gummy bear.
Where did Ann Sass go?
How am I going to get this out without breaking the glass? How did their spoon just slide right through the gummy part and mine doesn't?
You picked green, Ann. That's the problem. See, she didn't do the experiment 1-to-1. She went with green.
I must have done it wrong. It must be my mistake. I'll just go make it again with some Jello. Did I misread the recipe? Was I supposed to use jelly or Jello? There you go. Now it's working. So let's face facts. Ordinary YouTube bakers are being pushed out of existence by content farms who upload so often that genuine baking videos just can't seem to get through.
I don't know if this music is working, Ann.
Here's the views per month from the top 5 baking YouTubers for the last 2 years.
Oh man, that they all fucking tanked. Oh man, they all fucking tanked heavy. Look at it. This channel went from almost 20 mil to under 5, like to 2.5. 15 mil to under 2, and it's like 2. Not that 2 million is like a bad number of views by any stretch, but still. 10 million views? That probably dropped down to under a milli. Oh man, that is rough.
And here's content farm views. The whole how-to area is just being
Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up.
by these ones.
I'm gonna throw up.
And it's week after week saying, please don't stop uploading. That I should actually share with you why people are stopping uploading, why genuine YouTubers aren't doing it anymore, because they actually can't justify the cost. Some of the videos I make take more time to film and cost more in ingredients than we're getting back in AdSense from YouTube.
She's doing good now, though, I'm sure.
So it just makes it really hard to justify continuing to do it.
When she got to these debunk videos, that got to be her stride.
So it's up to you guys. I don't know if it'll make a difference. Share this video with the hashtag SaveYouTubeBaking.
It didn't, but Ann's still around, and that's nice.
And tweet YouTube, let them know you're not happy. Let them know you want to see more of the genuine YouTube creators sticking around and not just going off the platform.
Is this an ad for
Maybe they're
fucking
not
Clash of
disappointed
Clans?
that they might actually listen to viewers instead of not listening to YouTubers.
Is this the Clash of Clans guy?
Do me a favor, I'm going to list up some genuine YouTube creators on the screen. Go look up some of the names of these channels, search them up.
Good for them.
Watch some of their videos, comment, like, share, help them out, and hopefully you can keep them on the platform for a bit longer. Next year, I'm only going to be uploading every second week instead of every week. If you'd like to support the channel and help keep it
Oh
going...
my god,
if
Ann
you'd
about
like
left. Ann about left, but she didn't. She was on the way out, but the debunking videos just fucking lit them up. Ann, what are we doing? Oh, Ann played the fucking game. Ann was playing the game back then, too. Look, she's out here she's extending her videos with genuine cooking or whatever the fuck. She just slapped a lot on at the end so she'd get the extra ad rev and the algorithm. Ann was playing the game back then. Am I the only one who never got into Clash of Clans? No, I didn't either. Hey, Moon, how you doing? How you doing, Moon? How's the mouth treating you? I want to turn my AC back on. Turn my AC back on. Look, she had to stay in the game somehow. I've been lurking, but I'm here existing. I hear you, King. How long you got left? Like a week and a half? A week or so, but we'll see. You're gonna have to feel it out when you get there, I guess. Yeah, when do we get Moon back on Twitter? It's really unfortunate. Like, there could not have been worse timing on your mouth surgery and you getting banned off Twitter. Because it's like, if it would have happened any other time, it's like, okay, well, Moon has mouth surgery, so no streams. But at least we still get his tweets. But they silenced his mouth. The government silenced Moon's mouth and fingers simultaneously, and I'm not happy with it. It simply isn't it. No, I saw on the Discord. I can't believe they hit you for Old Town Toad. I didn't realize you uploaded Old Town Toad straight to Twitter either. I figured you would put the YouTube link up there. Just tweet at Lil Nas X. He's on Twitter a lot. Tweet at Lil Nas X and just ask him to drop the charges. He's in a lawsuit with Nike. He'll be fine. Oh, yeah. Oh, stupid me. Hold on. All right, give me my tomatoes. Hold up, give me my tomatoes. Not my brightest moment. Just tweeted him about getting your Twitter back. A few holes in that plan? No, just one. It's a really big one, but just one. This crafts messed me up. It is. I got TikTok brain now. Whew. Alright, chat. What's the wave? What's the wave? We tried Banjo-Kazooie Minecraft. Did not work. We watched Little Ann. I wonder what our most viewed video is.
Welcome.
Oh, that's painful. Anne's most viewed. An iPad cake that she made. That one's not that bad. But then the Minecraft Village. 29 million views. There's at least 25 million of these are moms trying to make a cake for their children. Which I guess is wholesome in its own way. Do you like Sayu? I'm not watching anything any of my homies are already watching. Time to crush 8-year-olds up past their bedtime. Did we play Unite? I haven't played Unite in a minute. That's actually wholesome. 10 cakes in 10 minutes? Alright. These two were fucking standing out. Blossom's fake video exposed by food... Oh, that's the one we almost clicked on earlier. Probably watch that one eventually. She's eating a wrench. Not the way I would have done it, Ann, but what do I know? Another debunking fake. Who's behind 5-minute crafts? It's a good question. She's got a lot of winners on here. She's got a lot of winners on here. Probably head to bed. Should have done so like an hour ago. Alright, TWP. Have a good night, man. Fucking hell. Chat, I think I want to get back into, like, heavy ROM hacking shit. I think I was having a lot of fun when we were just ROM hacking a bunch of stuff. Like, I'm glad we tried the Minecraft ROM hack today. I think I want to come back and try Pokemon Snap. The Pokemon Snap Banjo-Kazooie ROM hack. And then, not to give away too much, but I'm cooking up an idea with Omega. Cooking up an idea with Omega. So we're going to be... It's one game, we're just going to be playing at the same time. I remember I played a Super Mario Bros. 1 hack where he was naked. That's funny as fuck. Another Doki Doki race? Oh, shit! I have Doki Doki Deluxe! I've had Doki Doki Deluxe, so I ordered the physical version, but that didn't come out till August. But, I went ahead and I canceled that one. I don't need the physical one. So I grabbed it on PSN, so I just downloaded it off the store, and I have it, and I have had it for a minute. I haven't done it yet. I also have another game called Papers, Please. Welcome back, Cat. I'm not doing a Doki Doki speedrun, that's a nightmare. It's a literal